So today I want to talk about an idea that I had um, maybe when I was 17 or something, around that age. I had an idea to make okay. I like making music, right? I'm in I'm actually studying a career in sound design and music, and I'm actually interested, especially in the part of composing and production. Yeah, I'd say those are the two most the ones that I'm most interested in. And I had an idea the other day, or a few years ago, maybe, that I should make because the idea that I have of you know deep things like death right now, I'm guessing they're not going to be the same in a few years, or even when I'm about to die, or when I'm 50, or when I'm whatever age, right? So I had an idea to make an album that was designed to be released when I died, right? And make it so that almost or every song is related in some way to deep stuff, usually related to death, right? Um, I think it would be interesting to see to release an album when I die um, that has songs from when I was 19 right now, talking about what my idea right now is death and what it and it will also be interesting to see what the idea of death would will be when my idea of death will be when I'm 50, right, or 30 or 40. And um yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. The problem is to actually make it interesting, I would have to be a known artist in the future, right? Because I'm not a known artist, then nobody's really going to listen to those songs. So why am I even releasing them after my death, right? I mean, I guess my wife or my kids might listen to them, but you know, they would have already listened to them when I'm alive because I would have shown them, right? So I guess it only really works if I'm famous, because if I'm not, then it doesn't really work. Because if I release those songs when I die, and I'm not famous, then nobody's gonna listen. Nobody's going to be surprised or listen to them after my death. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to be like, "Oh, this guy released a song after he died," because nobody's gonna know me. So yeah, I thought I could maybe this is something that I thought more recently. I didn't think about that when I had when I first had the idea. But I thought when I first had the idea, I thought I could just release a song I could make a song whenever I wanted, and then just release it, or put it into the album at any point, right? But I recently had the idea, now that I'm 19, that I could maybe make one for every decade, except obviously for the first 2 decades of my life, because I was too little to actually make a song. But I guess I can make one for my 20s, one for my 30s, one for my 40s, one for my 50s, one for my 60s, and if I live long enough, one for my 70s or 80s. And I think that that would actually be a good idea, but again, it would only work if I'm actually, well known enough so that people actually care to listen to those songs after I'm dead. Because if they don't, then what's the point of releasing them when I die? I might as well just release them when I'm composing them, right? And yeah, I mean, it's an interesting idea. I've been actually making songs, or thinking about making songs more so, um, since I was like maybe 10. I don't know, maybe a little bit older, maybe 12 or 13. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I do care about, but the thing is, and this is I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here from the main idea of the video, but this is something that I've thought about a lot of times, and it's the fact that Jesus, that scared me. Something moved. Um, it's that the idea. Sorry, I got totally sidetracked. Um, oh yeah, I remember. I was gonna say that the thing that I've thought many times is that um, making songs is a lot of it's not just the idea of making it for someone to listen to, right? It's the idea of conveying a message to that person, right? And just making a song so that someone can listen to it and having fun is cool. And to be honest, it's what most people make. Like reggaeton is mostly that, songs so that people listen and have fun while listening to them. But actually making a song that has a message, I think, is really hard because you, even though it doesn't seem like you are really restricted. You obviously have to make it rhyme. You have to make it in a certain key. You have to repeat yourself so that, for example, the main part of the song has to repeat itself. You only have um, so much time, right? You can't really rumble on and talk about anything. I think that, for example, a book or a podcast would be much more of a better format for communicating a message. If you truly want to communicate a message, right? It would be definitely more easy to do it through a podcast or through a book. A song is really actually quite hard, even though it might not seem like it. It's actually a really hard way of conveying a message. And so, yeah, I thought about conveying the message that I think about, or that my idea of death, right? But I tried to do it once or twice, but it's really hard to think about how you would describe the idea that you have of death, especially at the age that I am, because death seems so far away, right? It's hard to really wrap your head around you having the possibility of dying, because I live in the first world, right? And I also have, I come from a middle class family. I'm well off. Um, so really hard to imagine what death means to you, basically. And this is speculation, but I'm assuming it gets easier to imagine what death means to you the closer that you get to it. So, so yeah, I've tried many times to actually write a song about what death means to me or what my idea of death is. But it's hard. It's hard to convey what, like, I know how death makes me feel, obviously, but I don't know how to describe it or how to say, well, this is what death makes me feel, or this is how death makes me feel. And really, I think interesting to think about the fact that it's so easy to something to receive a feeling from something, but it's really hard to convey a feeling, right? So it's really easy to listen to a song and say, "Oh, this makes me sad," or "This makes me feel weird," or "This makes me feel anxious," right? Or a movie or a picture, but it's really hard to do the other way around. To do it the other way around, to have a feeling and be able to convey that feeling or that message through art. And I don't know. I just thought thought it was an interesting idea, and also, I kind of made a two-in-one in this video, talking about the idea of the Death album and the idea of the other thing. So I don't really know if I'm going to actually make the Death album. I mean, I still have a year to decide that, or half or 3/4 of a year until I'm 20. So I might still do it, but I just wanted to talk about it just in case I don't actually do it. That's what this series is about. Talking about my ideas and my thought, just in case I forget them or I never actually make them or whatever. So yeah, um, I don't think there's anything else that I want to say. Um, yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.